Nicole just yelled at me. Hey, everybody. This is Beautiful Boys. I'm Andy Haynes.
I'm Mike Cannon.
And this is episode 2. You made it back. Thanks.
I feel really good about this show now.
Yeah. Please start by just subscribing to this channel and other channels that we have.
At this point, you guys probably are familiar with the whole cold open thing. You see the guys, they're facing the camera, they're letting you know about their dates, they're telling you to subscribe, comment, word of mouth, you know it. Spread this like wildfire. We're launching this grassroots.
Grassroots, yeah.
Together. Both of us have high expectations for what this is going to become.
It really has to work. But thank you guys very much for coming back. And I'll be at Sports Drink in New Orleans, Louisiana, March 7th and 8th. And then I will be at the Creek in the Cave, March 27th,
Nice.
and Riot.
It's my birthday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I won't be. All right.
That's okay.
I'll cancel it. I'll be at the Creek in the Cave in Austin, Texas, March 27th. And then the 28th and 29th, I will be at the Riot in Houston. And there's more dates. Go to my link in my bio, punchup.com.
Yeah, we're both on that. Punchup.live.
Haynes. Yeah.
Is that what it? Punchup.live.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. We're both on that. Check it out. We added content. We got dates, the whole thing. I'm apparently taking the month of March off, according to my agents. But I'm not. Dates will be added. MikeCannonComedy.com. For now, I got April. I'll be in Point Pleasant, New Jersey, April 17th. Uncle Vinny's. I mean, am I never not there? April 18th and the 19th, I'll be in Toronto at the Comedy Bar.
Is it Danforth?
Danforth?
Is it? You got to check if it's Danforth or Bloor. Check the link.
What, Toronto?
Yeah, just make sure.
This is Bloor.
It's Bloor. You wanted Bloor.
Bloor Street. I'll be at Bloor Street, which that
you
sounds like a
wanted
mistake.
Bloor. Trust me, buddy.
Nice. Then I'll be in Seattle. I got Chandler, Arizona, R.I.P. Matthew Perry, Boston, Massachusetts, MikeCannonComedy.com for all those dates. More coming in. And again, subscribe, comment, word of mouth. You guys are the engine of this program, and its success or failure hinges on you.
Yeah.
Let's start the show.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful boys.
If they try to show up and they're just like, here's $700, I'm going to be like, I'm going to just start taking things that I can sell out of this building. Like I'll take like literally like the plates on lights and shit like that. You know, like outlet covers. I'll do that.
You ever check a signed Chappelle framed picture is screwed into the wall?
Yeah, what's this iPad here doing? Okay, cool. This is, thank you.
The green room order station, you just take it with you.
Just extension cord, great. HDMI cables, awesome. A panel of your giant television.
Your comedy bubbles from The Wire. You're just walking down the street in a shopping cart with copper hanging out of it.
Comedy bubbles from The Wire is a good description of my career.
With that in mind, welcome to episode 2 of Beautiful Boys.
We're back.
We're back.
We've made it. We made it to a second episode.
We did it.
Wow.
I feel good about the first one, too. For the first
crazy.
time, I feel like we've really got some momentum.
Through the magic of Hollywood, we are not recording on the same day. This is different. Obviously, we have different sweatshirts on.
That's right. Look at us, too, like dangling our little
Crisscross.
legs at the same
Little
thing.
toe kicking.
Although I've learned from Clueless, the movie Clueless, that this is not great body language.
No.
Is that if we're towards each other,
we
then
should do it
that
like
means this is kind of a love point, a chakra to chakra, open soul to open soul. We've done that before on a show.
I'm wearing snowshoes, by the way.
Those
guys.
are
I don't
crazy.
usually-
Are those Hoka?
Yeah,
or-
they're Hoka and they're Gore-Tex. And I only break them out when I'm either hiking or it's a snow day.
They look like something they used to like nail on a kid's leg when it was 2 inches shorter than his other one.
It looks like orthopedic shoes. Thank God they're popular with all the like artsy folks here in the city.
Yeah.
I'll get roasted by most comics, but if you put me in Dime Square, I'm in the pocket. Really not comfortable with the black shoes though. I had white socks on. It was like a whole.
Oh, well, that's also black pants, white socks that show, and black shoes are just like you're hearkening back to Michael Jackson in a way that I don't know you mean to.
Do you know, I realized this, I think in the last year, that hot, like the definition of a hot person is you're hot no matter what you're wearing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm hot if I do everything right.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Hot.
Like my hair, the outfit, the skin.
Yeah.
Like I do it all, and I also need to be in the right mood because it
Yeah.
means I'm making eye contact and smiling. You know?
This is where you are unique to me in the sense that your peak, blue eyes, good jawline, chiseled. Your peak is hot. That's your ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
My ceiling is attractive.
Okay.
So, because I have brown eyes, and it's just my general kind of like Al Qaeda type face. It just there's a limit to how much people are willing to find me good looking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I've ever been like hot. I mean, gay guys tell me I'm hot all the time.
Not to put Nicole, I'm not even putting Nicole's opinion out there. I'll take her female, put it inside me, and judge you from that perspective. I know for a fact that there's been large swaths of your life where you've been considered the hot guy.
Thank you. That's the only list I've ever made it on.
Thank you.
That's the only list I've ever made it on in comedy. Was the
Mike Cannon. I'm sure you were hot one day.
Louis Peitzman or whatever his name. He was like, I think, a writer for maybe Vulture or something. But he wrote a list of like he's like a comedy critic. He writes about other stuff too, but. He wrote like 100 hottest guys in comedy, and I was 16, and I was like, finally.
Oh, the number 16.
Yeah, out of 100.
I thought you started like Pete Davidson Young.
No, I was.
And you were just a child, and this guy was a recruit.
No, he wasn't grooming me.
Who got ranked right above you? Do you remember?
I think it was like, I think I remember he put Mulaney as number 1, so it was like definitely like from a comedy fan point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Dye was up there. I think Pete was probably up there.
Holmes?
No. Davidson.
Pete Holmes is one of those guys that I really love his comedy, think he's very funny, attractive face, the body of a lava lamp. Like, that's got to be really tough to just unsheath his body and for most of it to just spill to his ankles.
Yeah, I think he's always been a little,
Sorry, that's your friend.
Poorly. No, I'll say this: we're not friends, but I don't think if I called him right now, he's not picking up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like that.
Yeah. I have a lot of close friends like that.
Yeah, I don't think I've gotten no invitation. He does not let me know he's in town. Sure, that's how good of friends we are.
Gotcha. That's how I know you, by the way.
What?
Is you
doing his podcast?
Pete's Orbit.
Yeah.
And he made such a big public deal of you doing Conan. I knew you as this guy. I'm like, fucking Andy Haynes, next up. I have no idea who this guy is, but boy, is he wearing a lot of foundation.
He was very
Comedy
gracious
Central
to me
half hour.
for 6 months. I got like a 6-month window in the light of the sun of Pete.
Oh, I've been there, homie.
And then he decided I think I was too depressed, maybe.
The old Ben Affleck thing. That's what Jennifer Garner said about Ben Affleck. You feel the warmth of his sun and you feel like one of the most special people on earth. And then when he turns his rays to someone else, the shade is oh so cold.
She said that?
She did. She really did say that.
That's beautiful.
It's so beautiful
Jennifer
and also
Garner
heartbreaking.
Contains so much depth for her Capital One banking career.
For her 5.5 inches long ears.
Are they that long?
They're that big. Yeah, they are at least from top of cranium to jawline.
She didn't get naturally cast in Lord of the Rings as one of the elfin people.
No, she's very beautiful though.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And also pretty funny. Like she can be a funny role.
Yeah, she also made it okay for men to be attracted to a 13-year-old. 13 going on 30.
Oh, I've never seen that. So I was like, okay.
I only have the reason
that really
why I
jammed
made
me
that
up.
joke.
I was really like,
the reason
what?
why I made that joke was based on a TikTok I just watched where they were like, how creepy is it that people think Jennifer Garner is hot when she basically became famous for embodying a 13-year-old?
Oh my God. I didn't even think about how creepy those things are. Because they always, in those movies, they always have a scene where it's like the girl swaps with her mom and then like her dad comes home and he's like, you want to mess around? And it's like, they don't play that like it's like the scariest thing in the world.
Like your father's going to enter your vagina.
Yeah. They're just like, isn't this, what a predicament they're in.
Do you just lay there and take it like mom would?
We better switch back soon or dad's going to make love to me.
Dad's going to come on my tits if I don't switch back to my body ASAP.
Oh man, I wonder if any dads are coming on tits. Can't imagine having that energy. I
I kept one to myself.
thank you.
Yeah. Because I still rope. Do you still rope?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
It's a recent thing. I don't know what happened. I got my groove back, like Stella. But what the fuck was I gonna say? Do you feel like we were trying to set this thing up? I had the perfect setup to it, and then I kind of forgot what we were supposed to set up. But do you feel comfortable in your skin now?
What? No. Or I mean, for an extended amount of time, or
Like
ever?
in general?
No. No,
What,
I mean,
what were we trying
no.
to set up? This will remind me.
The ferry incident, window gate.
Oh, but was there something else we were going to talk about before that?
window gate.
I mean, I guess, the thing is that I spent, and I think we talked about this on one of our lost episodes, which is I tried so hard to identify with some kind of masculinity that I went so far that I was just doing absurd things. Like when I drank, I used to be people think of me, I think, as very reserved, judgmental, probably put together to some extent. And when I drank, I had a mullet. Like I'd purposely gotten I'd shaved.
You were the original Uncle
into
Laser.
my head. Yeah, I'd done that ironically in the year 2001. And I would wear a leaf print all over hunting jacket and basketball shorts, and I would get wasted on Old English 40s and break beer bottles over my head.
Yes.
And I was just I told you guys about this. I was dating a girl that was a senior in high school when I was a sophomore in junior college, which is the most Percocet addicted sentence that I've ever said. Even though I didn't do Percocet, that is what being addicted to Percocet is
or selling.
Yeah.
One of those.
You have a Honda Civic with a fake Barbasol can in the back.
Did you drive a Civic?
No, I had a Subaru because I was a skier.
You're goddamn right you did. I had a 98 Chevy Malibu.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow, you were really committed. Tinted?
No, but the engine seized because I just didn't put coolant in it. the steering went out when I was at doing 65 on a highway.
Oh my
and then
God.
it just went and just steam and everything. It was a nightmare.
That happened to my rear differential because the car dealership just forgot to put differential fluid into it. And I was on my way to a gig in Virginia.
Shit.
But what the fuck?
Percocet.
So I was dating this girl, and I was at home, and somebody called me on her phone and was like, "Are you so and so's boyfriend? I'm gonna fuck her tonight." And I was like, "Oh, really?" And I was already drunk, and I got in my car, and I took a ferry, and I don't even know how I found this house because there wasn't phones on your map. And it wasn't like I printed out MapQuest while I was drunk and I was like, all right, take a left at Sleepy Hollow Lane. But I found it on kind of this rural forested island, and I yelled who the fuck is this? And all these high schoolers came out on this porch, and I was so mad that I turned and I just punched out my own minivan window. My mom's minivan window. I punched out my mom's minivan window like a psychopath. And it's so different than who I am now. I don't have that.
The big one.
The what? Yeah.
But it's so much. I've tried with wrapping my hand in t-shirts.
Yeah.
And taking full running starts to try to punch the driver's side window of a Honda Prelude out.
I've never felt more like Brandon, what's his name in School Ties? Brendan, the Whale, Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I was just
or Latimer and fucking The Program, just smashing.
Yeah, I felt like
table.
Such a badass in that moment, even though it was one of the saddest things.
Were you bleeding?
Yes.
Nice.
And I was just but I was challenging a porch full of high schoolers to a fight. But that is who I was. It was such I was so insecure.
Yeah.
That and now if somebody called me and they're like, I'm going to fuck your wife tonight, I'd be like, okay, well, she likes this.
Yeah, just let her go. Just bring her back whenever she's.
You're gonna hold off for a second and just kind of let her do her thing. No, but I mean, I'm just I don't have those kind of impulses anymore. I have impulses.
Do you think it's
that
because you got it out of your system though? Or are you just embarrassed by that so much that it's the same as like getting sober?
It's a little bit like, well, I think it's getting sober in the sense that it's like I realized, like I took time away from being that person to realize I'm still insecure in major ways, and I still do things all the time that are a rejection of like my, I go and I do these comedy things with people who say stuff that I find abhorrent, and I just go like, like, because I so desperately want to be famous and, sell tickets and shit like that. Like, I think a lot of us are in that camp.
Yeah. 100%.
And also, the biggest problem with it, and I think you might relate to this as well, is like, I'm too gay for the podcasters, but I'm too much of a jock for the Union Hall.
Yes.
And so I find myself in this gray area
where
it's
nobody
like,
likes us.
Yeah, where it's like Mothership is like, get this fucking queer off stage.
This trans man out of here.
And then I go to Bell House and people are like, that joke you made was the most racist thing I've ever heard in my entire
saw
life.
you wearing horns with your face painted on January 6th,
Yeah,
climbing
you
through the
are
Capitol
a
building.
monster. And meanwhile, I'm just listening to like the NPR radio hour, trying to like learn about what's happening in Nagorno-Karabakh.
See, you do that while I'm watching #HopeCorps and crying at Soldier Come Home videos,
beautiful.
or dogs welcoming a puppy into their family.
I love that.
I routinely am just drudging emotion out of myself in an attempt to, I guess, like, I don't know why. Like, I don't know
good.
why.
No, I think
do
it's
it.
good because I think it's like I should probably do more of that because I do try to drudge emotion out of myself because I am a little bit of a robot. I'm a little bit Hal in 2001,
Dude,
where I'm like,
when you were saying that,
are you saying that you would like a divorce?
I want Nicole, hopefully you can punch it on his face. But Andy was so looking for, like, off in the corner, and his eyes started getting a little more watery as he was talking about what a robot he is.
Yeah, punch in it.
It looked like Haley Joel Osment gaining sentience in AI.
Yeah.
Are you my real parents?
I just start bleeding out of my nose. Like I just can't compute.
I mean, I have the exact same thing in terms of just like blacking out faux masculinity based on 100% insecurity. I mean, talk about almost exact same situation. I went to prom my freshman year of college.
Oh yeah.
So I was in community college, and I
Nice.
went with my girlfriend, who I was dating, not my wife, my then girlfriend, not her at all, just another girl. And we went, and then I did Wildwood with them. Like that's where everybody would go.
Oh, you went to the after
Dude,
party.
So I'm like, I'm a double dipping fucking loser.
Oh
as
man.
a freshman in community college, who, I may add, made a drastic leap into the African American culture. So not only do I know these kids that I've grown up with, I'm still dating this chick, but I am a new race.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. And
this wasn't, you changed.
I changed.
Oh,
dude.
wow.
Like
You
fully changed. Because
you adopted a new.
when I went to community college, I was so fucking lost because
You're back to Africa years.
I just lost every sense of self, was trying to find a new version of me because I hated everything that I was, all of those things. So I just set off on a path of like, nobody will remember. I'll just be DeMichael and continue on with my life. Nicole, your face really upset me. Was that bad?
I was just trying. I was thinking really hard. Is there, like, other than Michael, an actual name that would have been better than DeMichael? But I'm out.
I think DeMichael's pretty good.
It's not bad.
So to even further cement how similar we are, in the year that I was at Wildwood, I was also my first year drinking because I didn't drink through high school. I had fancied myself as an athlete and thought I was going to take that to the zenith.
Yeah.
And started drinking. got into a huge fight with my chick's friend who was like, you know, more or less a complete twinkle toes. But I saw him put her, you know, his arm around her, and I'm so insecure, newly drunk, newly black, really trying to, you know, make my mark
Wrestling
in the
with
culture.
a lot of different kind of emotions.
And immediately was like, turn my hat backwards, wearing a guinea
Transracial.
tee,
Ooh.
on steroids, screaming, dog, I'ma set it on you, dog. Like, for real,
Wow.
full ebonical
I like
in
it.
front of the entire fucking grade lower than me, who did like me as a basketball player,
Eric
nice
Dyson
guy.
showed up to represent your speech. He was like, this is his emotions coming out. This is a language.
Yeah, but I mean, I left that weekend thinking really highly of myself, and like I, you know, put my alpha flag in the sand, and I really stood up for my girl and the whole thing. But then years later, I'm like, that
you're
was
lucky
maybe one of the
I
most.
knew I was pathetic immediately.
Oh,
I
that's
knew.
not lucky though, dude. I feel like such a fucking loser for having no clue that I was.
Do you remember though?
humiliating.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't know because you come from like a totally different world than I come from, which is like my school. People went away. People usually left Seattle. Actually, I would say like 50% of my high school you went to.
Do you mean post like high school, like just moved
to good schools?
Oh,
they went on
okay.
to like good colleges and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of people went to the UW because that's a good school, or Western, which is where I went. But like
Western University,
Western Washington University.
Oh,
we call it
because that's
Western.
like that's the school from Blue Chips.
No, I didn't. Nick Nolte was not my.
It's not about education.
That's a good
It's
Nolte.
not about winning, and it sure as hell is not about basketball.
That's really
it's about
good.
money.
Have you heard this?
God damn.
I was just
money.
laughing, like waiting for you to regret the compliment.
No.
As he carried on.
Because I'll do that whole
Please
fucking
keep that
thing.
in. Please
There
keep that
goes
in.
Happy headed to the cash machine. He's gonna get himself another linebacker.
Wow, this is I've seen Blue Chips and I never thought to memorize. But this is obviously emotional for you because it's college basketball. You thought you were going there.
Yeah, I thought somebody was gonna show up to my house like I was Ricky Rowe with a duffel bag filled with $30K, and I was really gonna just have a great time.
Well, what I was gonna say was just that for some reason, if you showed up at our high school after high school, you were a loser.
Okay,
Like if you were involved at all,
Yeah.
like even like, do you remember you'd be at a party and somebody would show up? That was like that to us was like, what are you doing here?
Well,
dude?
like even on breaks, like
Yeah.
so say it was Christmas break and then everybody intermingled again.
we
there was
didn't
none of that.
have that.
No
For some
shit.
reason, we didn't have that at all. Like
How big was your school though? Huge.
2000?
Yeah, that's huge. So that's why, because people just filtered the fuck out. And then
Yeah,
they're
I mean,
gone.
it was like I don't know why, but we just didn't like. You'd see
500
people
a
around
class. That's fucking huge,
at
right?
least. Yeah.
Am I wrong? That's a big school.
Yeah, ours was 1,200.
Where are you from?
A
Maybe?
class?
No, the whole school.
Sorry.
There are
A
schools.
class?
There are schools like that though. Like I think my friend went to a school where there was 4,500 students.
Jesus Christ!
They all got shot.
yeah,
All of them.
every one of them.
Everyone got shot. That entire school got shot at. But what the fuck
I think
was
we had
gonna say?
1,000.
God, I can't remember what
I'm
we were
sorry.
just talking. Oh, I did want to say that I did have a moment. I don't know if I've brought this up before. It was my senior year of high school, and I had to take this gym credit to graduate. So I took this gym class, and for some reason, the entire varsity basketball team, which was all D1 athletes, so most notably Brandon Roy was in this class.
Oh wow!
And then there was like Trey Simmons, who played for they had a class at UW that made it to the Sweet 16 of the
That was his
NCAA.
year. That was Brandon Roy's.
Yeah, it was like Trey
come out.
Simmons,
Yeah.
Nate Robinson.
Which, for those of you watching that don't know, Brandon Roy from the Portland Trailblazers, also one of the greatest what if stories ever. Unanimously, one of the greatest, or at the time, greatest
gave
point
back
guard.
his signing bonus so Portland could buy another player to replace him.
He was so fucking good, and his just knee gave out on him, eroded, and
Yeah.
he just never had the career that he could have had.
But
Had
we
to
would-
retire early.
It started with I knew all of them, but we weren't like close. And they would play basketball, and obviously they were amazing. I just would lift weights, and not well, but I would go to the weightlifting room. And they were like, "Andy, come, we need a guy."
Yeah.
And I was so bad, but I had months left of this class that I just started playing basketball every single second of the day to the point where like I would play Will or I'd play Brandon 1-on-1.
No
Like,
shit.
Yeah, and they just weren't allowed to shoot in the key. And they would still decimate me. I
Totally.
never got.
But that's actually a great training exercise for them too to just work on shit.
But I worked so hard that by the end of it, I could dunk. Like, I mean, not like
Still
impressively.
That's crazy.
I could dunk a ball. You know, I played so much, and I had this fantasy that I was going to stay back a year and get to play for my high school. And I remember like bringing it up with somebody, and they were like, "No." Not even remotely a possibility.
Well, 2,000 kids also, like, so you guys, I don't know how they break it out in Washington, but in New York, that would be like Class A or Double A, like one of the bigger schools in
we
the
were
state.
pretty high up.
Yeah, so that's immediately pulling from the pool of the
not
great.
that year, but we were a basketball powerhouse.
And you're like, I'm gonna stay
Yeah,
behind.
literally, like D1 coaches are scouting our games, and
You
was like,
wanted to be the autistic ball boy that got in last game.
I thought
of the
I was
season,
Rudy. I
and
thought
you
I
were
was
gonna rip
I
six
thought I was-
fucking nets.
I was watching Jason William highlights. I was doing and
too.
one mixtape type shit, and I thought like I'm gonna just be so nice, and I was not even good. I wasn't even good. I could hang, but I was not good. I just got to the point where it was like not embarrassing to play with me, or occasionally I would drive well or something like that. But this also just reminded me. Did you guys have this in your school where a kid was so tall that the coach made them play?
We had a kid who was black, and our coach gave him a spot on the team because he was black.
Really?
His name was Andre Bridgemahan.
Did he want to play?
No, he was a group home kid that literally was just 6 foot in 8th grade, and our coach, Mr. Rorick, who gave me the nickname Loose Cannon.
Yeah.
literally,
I like that.
it's not
That's
bad.
nice.
It's the only nickname I've ever had. And he was like, Andre, you're on the team. And he made the team, never showed up to a single practice.
I love that. We had this kid, I can't remember his name. I don't think I ever knew his name because he was like literally like he just hung out with like Chinese kids and like did math. Like he was
So
like,
he wasn't even tall. He was just tall
he
in
was
perspective.
insanely tall.
Oh, okay. I thought he was just,
He was just
I thought he was just
perspective-wise.
a sunflower in
Everybody
a
was like,
field
that
of
guy must be
daffodils."
7 feet tall. No, he was just like, he was insanely tall. He was probably 6'4", 6'5".
Okay.
Maybe taller, maybe even like 6'7". But freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
And I remember like he very clearly did not want to play sports. He wanted to do academics, and they're like, "You're on the team. You are on the team. You play basketball, young man."
I bet that happens to more. I mean, that definitely happens to tall kids. I've talked to people from like crowd work perspective, just giant guys, because my whole thing is that I wanted to be 6'5" my whole life.
Yeah.
And I honestly think if I was, it would have like really leveled me up career wise. But who knows?
All your
But
insecurities would be gone.
they'd be gone.
Yeah.
But I bet that happened more, probably more to heavier kids with football.
Oh yeah.
Than it did with tall kids in basketball. Because I know poor Sagalo, I'm sure, was recruited on a weekly basis to play football, and then they gave up on him because he started quoting Eminem at them or whatever. But like, if Brendan had any adult that really cared for more than 2 minutes, he would have been on the football team, because that's what they wore kids down in my school, where they're like, "Come on,
You're
just
fat.
You're fat. Just get brain damage. It's totally cool."
I
And
was
the kid
so
eventually
lucky.
just gave in.
I was so lucky because I was raised playing soccer, and then we just weren't a good football school.
Mm-hmm.
But did I bring this up the last time that my dad was an All-American football player and wrestler?
No.
Yeah, my dad was an All-American.
Oh, so you come from like legit.
But here's the
athletic
thing.
stock.
He never taught me a fucking thing about sports. It was the craziest shit in the world. I'm dying for masculinity like my entire youth. And then I crack open his yearbook, and he looks like fucking Jim Thorpe.
Bruce Jenner.
Like he's an Adonis. He's got red hair. He's like fucking, his son should be Francis Ellis. That's who his son looks like. I got him. And it's because my dad's mom was abusive, like horribly abusive. And he used sports as reason to never have to go home. And so I was like, hey, what the fuck? I'm over here like doing Highland Games dancing and trying to join choir. I'm interested in the drama program, and my DNA is dying to be an alpha male. And he's like, yeah, you had a good home life. And I was like, who cares?
But that's also why Minnow is going to be like an Olympian.
Yeah.
She's going to be a discus thrower, the likes of which America has never seen.
I just might be able to make like eye contact when I disagree with somebody. You know?
I do know.
When somebody says something that literally goes against every molecule in my body's politics and philosophies, I might be able to, I might be able to go like, hey, I don't actually agree with you. This is upsetting me.
Dude, so in a similar capacity, but also like a photo negative of your life, is my father was an actor. He went to Hofstra for acting. Literally was just like a Levittown queef his entire life, but was forced to be tough because he had he was one of 8, and all of his brothers are fucking 6'5", 300 pounds.
Is it the dream to leave Levittown for Rockland County? Is that like the natural progression?
Everybody in his family thought he was like some elitist piece of shit. Like I found out
so
recently
funny.
that we were like elitist white trash for moving to Rockland County.
I do want to say I do mean this to be offensive.
Yeah.
That I think everywhere between JFK and West Hampton is maybe the worst place on the planet Earth. And I've been to El Salvador. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I can't like
North Shore, they get a pass. For some reason, I don't know if it was like the heat raised some culture up there, but fucking Levittown, Babylon, Rockland Center.
Levittown is also such an interesting aquarium of like the past meets.
Will you twist me?
Oh, I will twist you. I was wondering what you were doing with your face.
I was
going
to shove this up your ass.
I was like, did I just step on his toes? What was I doing? But either way, yeah, Levittown is an interesting place. All of Long Island is pure mayhem. But my father knew nothing about sports, but told me what an athlete he was growing up. He never played organized sports. He like played fucking sandlot baseball sometimes, called a bunch of people gay, like, and then that was mostly, and then smoked cigarettes.
Your dad grew up in the set of Bronx Tale, basically?
I mean, basically, like, or Outsiders, kind of like that. Just like kind of just, Little Rascals meets cigarettes lifestyle. And so when I became good at sports young, my father is very narcissistic, so he would love the attention that came with a son that was good.
Yeah.
So he didn't know anything about sports, but he knew that I was doing good and that he was being looked at. So he would yell vague shit like, come on, run fast, Mike.
Yeah.
Grab it.
Yeah.
Grab the ball. Run, come on. And I, dude, in the like just whitest kind of like snide cunt moment of my entire life, in the middle of a game, I think I was 9 or 10 years old, I stopped the game in the middle of St. Catherine's gym and I go, what's a rebound? Tell me what a rebound is right now. Define fucking
That's
rebound.
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
Dude, my dad grabbed me off the floor physically, no timeout, no nothing, grabbed me, took me outside of the church, beat the brakes off me outside, and then literally patted me on the ass and told me to rebound from that.
Wow.
So not only did he know,
that's your origin story. That's why you're a comedian.
That was my radioactive spider.
I do think there's something so beautiful about New York actors, which they only exist here, which is like men who somehow like they failed the police exam. They were too alcoholic to join a firehouse, which seems impossible. And I don't know, they find acting, but they bring that like New York like all the Baldwin brothers are from Long Island.
Yeah.
And like obviously, one of them is okay.
Which one?
Alec. I think Alex.
The murderer is okay.
Yeah. I mean, the other ones
that
are
is
like
my father, though. My dad is as close to Alec
but
Baldwin
it's like you
as it
meet
gets.
these guys who are like New York actors, and they're just, it's so weird to find like toxic masculinity in the theater. It's like somehow they like find that as their varsity sport.
Totally. But it's all the guys that grew up at a time where it was not okay to be acting. So they acted in secret and would often get like cigarettes put out on them at home for being gay. Like, that was my dad's entire. I realized I said yesterday to my sister that like we were having some crazy existential conversation.
Hold on. I just had an idea of a dad, like a Con Edison worker, finding like a Uta Hagen like acting book and confronting his son about it. What the fuck is
like
this?
It's Jumanji the game. Yeah. He hears drums coming from the dirt and he pulls out the acting book.
And then he secretly becomes an actor. Your father left us for a man because you had to want to try acting. He found your dangerous book.
He found your dangerous book. That reminds me of when I lost my joke book and a 13-year-old called it. Like they found my book.
They called the number?
And they called the number. If found, please return to. And I used to have a joke about this, but it was true. She goes, hi, is this Mike? And I go, yeah. And she's like, I found your anger book.
Oh my God. That's so funny. Because mine is, I actually have a devastating joke book right now because I decided I didn't want to have like a journal, an organizer, a joke book. I was like, I'm going to get this big fucking book and I'm just going to do everything in it. It's the size of that.
Oh, no shit.
It's huge. And I love it.
I was doing that for a little while too, but I couldn't bring it anywhere.
Yeah. When I bring it places, people are like, are you fucking sketching somebody?
What are you, lesson planning for the year?
It does look like that. But I love it. It's like so much like I can organize. I'm a big list guy. I like to write like list of like the jokes, the goals, the things to do.
The tisms.
Yeah, exactly. And but if somebody opens that up, they're gonna see like kind of gay, should have been boxer, my wife's a bitch, like this list. And then the list over here is going to be like get car detailed, make unsubscribe sketch, whatever, sell Netflix special, right? Like that's one page. And then they're going to flip it over and it's going to be like, I keep on trying to get to the bottom of who I am. And they're going to like, what the fuck is this person? Yeah. And I am having such a nightmare that I'm gonna leave it at the cellar on the table.
Oh, that would be the worst because when you're dead, it's fine. Like I've that whole like Lil Wayne thing of I don't write because I don't want anybody to see.
Oh no,
like any of my stuff.
I know I would come back and it would be like Reggie, Keith. I don't know who else. Maybe like Sam and Rachel or somebody. And they would just be like, so depressed.
This is an insight.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, I think my nightmare in terms of who would find something like that are Jim, Bobby, Colin.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That
would be horrible.
Those are my holy grail guys. So like just in terms of them having access to the things that bother me, like Bobby Kelly. I've told this before, but we went to Aruba. Or we did that Ray Allen
the same
gig.
time, yeah.
Yeah, and it was great. Now I was coming and he was like leaving a few days later, so we Venn diagrammed a little bit. Overlapped. That's what I was looking for.
Venn diagram.
Yeah. So I get there and Bobby is like an albino manatee just bobbing up and down in this pool, but I love him. So why would I ever say anything like that?
Yeah.
You know, I get there and I'm like, there's my friend who probably had to fight through years of trauma to even shed the shirt off his body today to get into the pool with his kid. I mean, what a nightmare it is to look like that.
Yeah.
And as soon as I walk in, he goes, your nipples are too low. The second I walked in the pool, and he's correct.
Yeah.
I never accurately diagnosed why my body isn't exactly the way I want it to be. And it's because it's just a touch. It's as if somebody just went like this to your nipple, just pulled it down a little bit. And you're like, it's a slight lazy eye.
A man's nipples can really throw the whole thing off. That's one place where, like, if you got fucked up nipples, I don't think yours are probably that fucked up, but I've seen guys where, like, they have giant areolas or, like, a long nipple. Like Joe Rogan. Remember Joe Rogan's nipples?
No.
Oh, yeah. Look at his ice bath plunge.
He has long nippies?
He's got long nipples.
Roans?
Pull it up.
Dude, well, I have like, the fucking, like, kite tendrils hair.
Oh yeah.
Like,
That's right. I don't have any.
It looks like
Wait, do you have
suddenly
chest hair?
Seymour. Yeah, but it's in the it's wispy and in the shape of a Superman
I
emblem.
only have chest hair here and here.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, they are little wall climbers.
Yeah, he's got interesting nips. No offense, Joe. Please don't kick me in the throat the next time I'm at the mothership. But that's the one thing where I'm like, I would get like cosmetic for that because it's like it can throw the whole thing off. But bringing up Bobby was so funny, and I think we can say this now because Bobby looks great.
Yeah, he looks different now, which is why I teed off on his old body.
But Bobby he
looked like the thing that you put in the middle of an above ground pool to make sure the cover doesn't like sink and
he looked like
freeze.
Stellan Skarsgård in Dune. He was so fat, I thought he was gonna float. No, please take that out. I'm so afraid of him.
Keep it all in. We love Bobby.
He looks
love.
exactly
And
like him.
But
And
he
it's
was
also not his body. Which one?
Stellan Skarsgård in Dune.
Yeah,
Can I see it?
he was.
I think I know. I think I
He's
saw.
the-
I only saw Dune 2.
Yeah, he's the evil
didn't
guy,
see the
the
first
most
one.
evil guy in it. Yeah,
Oh, that is pre-surgery, but that's
Yeah.
pre-sleeve.
yeah. And Bobby looks great now. But the first time I ever met Bobby was I was doing his pod. Rosebud got asked on. She was like, "Can Andy come along?" And I remember he's just fucking shitting on me. He's shitting on them. He's shitting on this. And I'm like, "All right, fatso," or something like that. And he goes, "We don't make that joke." And I was like, the best joke? What are you talking about? That's like that's like you're in a one-on-one game and that's literally the Brandon Roy versus me, except we're the same player. And for some reason, he doesn't have to.
No layups for you.
Yeah, no
layups.
layups. What the fuck? But I respected it.
Yeah.
Oh, my favorite thing. This is actually my very favorite Bobby story. This is the second time he ever asked me on YKWd. Were you involved at this point? When he did the solo episode, or when he did an episode with just me, it was remote. It was just me, and then he called Rich.
I don't know. He might have been like
Called Rich.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's
Yeah.
going well.
Well, here's what
Whenever he
happened.
outsources the beating to.
Chris was supposed to be the guest, DeStefano, and he had to cancel for some reason. And Bobby
that
spent
doesn't sound right.
the first 20 minutes going like, "I can't believe this fucking guy," and I'm just sitting there. And at one point I go, "Bobby, do you want me to go? Because I've been here the whole time." And he's like, nah, I'm just, it's just, I was just annoyed. And I'm like, yeah, but I've also, I'm a comic. I can kind of do what this guy's doing. And then he calls Rich because he's like, "This is too slow." I was like, yeah, probably because you acted like I was a disappointment for the first fucking 20 minutes of it.
Bobby called me every once in a while. Him and Rich used to call me at 7:45 a.m. Like the two of them, and I'd wake up and I'd just take a 20-minute beating from both of them.
So wonderful.
And it was actually I sat on the edge of my bed once, laughing, listening to it, being like, "This is my dream," kind of a weird comedy S&M dream that I had when I listened to Opie and Anthony growing up. And I'm like, what a fucking odd experience this is. But then also when I told them that, guys, I got to go get my kid ready for school, they were so not understanding.
No. What the fuck do you mean?
What, you don't think we have kids?
Oh, this is bringing me back to. I don't think we talked. Did we talk? We talked about the maid on the last episode, right?
The maid. Well, we don't
cleaning
call
lady?
her a maid. She's a house cleaner.
A cleaning person.
A cleaning person.
Cannon called her family, actually.
She is family.
Ours is not family. Ours
She
is
held my baby.
Ours is an Estonian woman that I think has a pretty serious substance abuse problem that Liz Furiati recommended.
More like a Stonedian.
No, I mean stoned would be great. I think she had to drink to get out of the house type of thing. But and also
the fact that you dead serious took that, and Nicole gave me the Michaela Maroney fucking face. I want to take my own life.
she
You know who that is?
Yeah.
The gym. All right. Good.
She would be like, "All right, we're gonna do this." Is before she ever worked for us. I'd be like, "All right, this day," and then she just wouldn't show up and wouldn't call.
Mm.
And then she a couple weeks later, I'd be like, "So, do you still want to maybe work for us?" And she'd be like, "Oh, sorry, yeah, let's do it this." And then she did multiple times, or would cancel last minute. eventually she shows up, and it was so funny because she was like, "Wait, you are home. Where is your wife?" And I was like, "Oh shit, my wife works." And she was like, "Huh." like I got judged.
Yeah.
I think she like couldn't understand it. She was like, "But you are man.
Yeah, but you are man.
You are man. How is this possible?"
She just gives you the duster. She's
Yeah.
like, your job.
I'm going to smoke a cigarette in your bathroom.
There's nothing you could do about it.
You are one of my girls now.
That's how my old barber used to make me feel. She was a Russian woman that told me how like unbelievable Russia was for mothers and for like mothers about to give birth.
Oh yeah.
But she would like say it in a way where she like, because I was telling her that Nicole was still like working basically up to her delivery date.
Yeah.
And she was just like blown away by the prospect that she wasn't being waited on hand and foot in the last 2 months of her pregnancy. Like, couldn't believe that she didn't have like a separate hospital stay where they taught her how to be a mom. Like, apparently that's Russia.
Yeah.
They give you full classes.
Well, I think old Russia. I think
yeah,
Soviet Russia.
Probably, yeah.
Now I think they go, you have to leave. We're gonna kill your entire family. Sorry.
You sneezed weird.
You sneezed weird. It seemed anti-political. We're gonna kidnap your father-in-law and send him. We're gonna kill you guys.
Would you go there to perform?
I am so interested in Russia. I like have a huge like that is probably like, you know how like dads dork out on like a book about like FDR
Sure.
or like Abe Lincoln.
Yeah.
My whole like turn on something on YouTube is Russia.
Really?
Yeah, but Soviet Russia
Okay.
mainly, like the breakup of the USSR, which is called perestroika. That's when the USSR broke up in 1992. But
Non-violent.
no, it was violent. There was
Oh.
a little bit of violence. They attacked the people that wanted to retain the army, I think, shot up the Capitol building with tanks.
Really?
Yeah, and there was a little bit of like skirmishes in Lithuania.
Who were they led
people.
by? Who was the army led by that shot at the Capitol?
I don't
building?
know, just a general, I think. I can't remember the exact guy, but Yeltsin was the president.
Wild.
Yeah. Or Yeltsin was part of the Gorbachev was the premier.
I talked to Andy in middle of tapings, and I was telling him how excited I am to actually learn from you, because I'm one of those people that is too timid to give an opinion because my knowledge of said opinion kind of collapses on itself after one or two
Well, I want to
questions.
tell you the secret is that I don't actually know anything. I just have a photographic memory of partial things.
Got you.
So that I can make it seem like I know everything we're talking about, because I can just go, oh, this is kind of like that thing, or like this little bit of information,
Yeah.
you know? So it's like, if you bring it up, I'll have something to add,
Yeah.
and everybody will be like, you're so smart. And it's like, I'm telling you.
Well, but even that, I was like, non-violent. You're like, there's a little bit of violence. And I'm like, this changed my entire perspective of the Cold War.
I know a little bit, but it's like, if I had to take the test, I would still get a C. Let's put it that way.
A C, dude.
Yeah.
If I mean, I'm writing my friend's wedding right now, so I'm marrying him.
Yeah.
And I am getting the exact same fucking feelings I got when I had homework, where I
You
am.
got to stop using a crayon.
I'm throwing fits.
Just cut to Mike with that big lined paper that's a rectangle.
It's a backwards K.
Dear parents
Dear
and
beloved.
family. Parents and family, those are the only two words, you know?
But I am getting the exact same feelings that I got as a child, which is like frustration met by immediate give up, met by like throwing a fit.
Yeah.
Like that's my natural progression of having to do even. That's why I'll stay married for the rest of my life. It has nothing to do with love. I just will never fill out the paperwork.
I honestly, that's the only reason my wife probably will stay married to me, is because she doesn't want to do the paperwork. But she'll be
Do
like,
you guys have a prenup?
no. And
What a silly bitch.
she totally should have done it. She's trying to get a Postnup. Joke's on you. I ain't doing nothing.
Post-nut clarity.
Yeah.
Episode title.
But she wouldn't do it because she was like going to have to hire a lawyer and stuff. I mean, I don't give a shit. She can have all her money. I'll fucking go live in the woods. But She
in a clothing rack.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I'll fucking do whatever I need to.
Isn't it cool? We've been posting clips from an episode that also doesn't exist, so people are gonna be like, "Where the fuck did you guys record anything at a mall?" Like,
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
The whole show's at a mall. We're in the mall right now. The mall of your minds. What were you just talking about? Russia, and then we got
into something that we
Going to war?
going to war,
Oh, I would actually side
Getting
note.
enlisted?
performing in Russia.
Would I go to Russia to perform? Yes, I would.
You would?
I would. I tried. This is a story that not a lot of people know, but I planned a trip because I've always been trying similarly
Mhm.
to make things happen for me
Yeah.
in my career, and it's a hard thing when you are doing well and you have a lot of the things that the other people are like, this is the stuff that you're supposed to have, but the next thing is not happening.
Yeah.
And you're also seeing your friends around you do things like podcasts or whatever digital thing and turn into millionaires.
Yeah.
You see it happening. So a lot of us are going, okay, like, what's my thing? What am I going to do? And I love to travel and I love conflict, actually. Like I like interesting, like I wanted to go and visit Iraq. I wanted to go, like go to these places that people wouldn't go to.
Sure.
And so February of 2023, had an entire trip planned to Kiev. This is true. I had an entire trip planned to
This
Kiev.
is like active war. Like
Yeah,
it's already happening.
Yes, yeah, it's a year into the war. I'd met a comic who Tim had on his podcast.
Tim Dillon.
Yeah, and I followed him, and then we started talking, and I was like, wait, are you guys doing shows? And they're like, yeah, like you can do shows.
By candlelight.
You just have to like run inside when the alarm goes off. And then I just started like researching, like you can go and these restaurants are open and these businesses are open and you can do this, this, and this. And I reached out to restaurants and I was like, can I come and see how you guys actually like operate like a fine dining experience in the middle of a war? And also like, I honestly had a reservation at the Four Seasons in Kiev or whatever it was. I had like the presidential suite for $200 a night. It was like insane. I was so excited to swim in a pool while there was missiles flying around.
It's literally presidential while Zelensky is being hunted.
Yeah. I was so excited for this whole trip, and I had it all planned out, and I was going to fly into Krakow and take this 18-hour train. Wilfred Padua was actually going to join me. And I was trying to figure out a way to tell my wife. I was trying really hard because I really felt passionate about this. This is the kind of stuff I want to do with comedy. I want to go and interview these comics about like how they're doing comedy and like why they're doing it. And because I have trouble going to a spot and these people are still doing comedy during a war.
Yeah.
And
that's both that has to be like a mix of like purpose, like actual feeling as though comedy is your full-blooded purpose, and also just needing something so desperately to distract from what's actually happening.
Of course. And community.
Totally.
I mean, it's like,
I mean, that is religion, I guess.
To some extent, yeah.
Yeah,
but it's so funny to think that there's like these free speech comics that think that they're like doing free speech because they want to say like, I retarded raped the CP bus driver. And then like a guy's like, I would like to tell jokes while
retarded raped.
Yeah, I retarded raped the blind girl N-word. I believe in free speech. Like that's like they think that's free because I want to say it's free speech. Meanwhile, people are like trying to do comedy while there's an active war, and there's also people just around the world that are trying to be like, "Hey, could you stop shooting my family?" I would like to write an article about you shooting my family, and they're like, "No, that's different. I got to say retarded raped N-word." Anyways, so I was trying to figure out a way to tell my wife, and my wife and I. We've always had like a kind of interesting relationship where before we had kids, we could not talk for a couple days.
Sure.
Not like not in the same home, but just like, I'd be in LA, I'd be in London, she'd be somewhere, We weren't like a check in all the time type of, and she hits me with we need to talk.
Ooh.
And I was like, what the fuck?
And coming from a dude, it's bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
I get it.
I feel like I'm
it.
closing up the rosebud. She's just not here to defend
from a
herself.
trans man. But so I go home and she's like, hey, and we'd had some trouble getting pregnant. And she's like, I'm pregnant. And I was like, okay, well, I probably need to tell you this. I'm going to the Ukraine in 2 weeks. And she was like, what? And her takeaway from it was like, I'm about to have a kid with the dumbest man alive. Because she doesn't ever think like, oh, you do like a YouTube show about going to the Ukraine. She's like, you do comedy and then you get successful or whatever.
Yeah, and then people pay you.
Amy Schumer asks you to be on her, whatever. And she just thought I was like the dumbest. And then she came around eventually to like, it was a good idea, but it was not happening.
Right.
There was no way it was happening. And that, I don't know why I brought up that story.
Just in general, I think in terms of first I
I
asked
think it
you
was
if you
Russia.
would perform in Russia. It's also, I mean, that exact same thing is with me where I got Nicole pregnant before I left for a war zone. And I've told this story.
Oh, because you did a USO tour.
I did. I forget. It wasn't USO. It was the other one, and I always forget its
know what
name.
you're talking
but
about,
it's a great company. But
ISIS.
It was ISIS. We were flown over on ISIS's private carpet.
We entertained the other side, like I'm a comic. I work for money,
And they need to laugh as
Have you guys seen these ladies without face coverings?
Boy, are they stacked high.
Jesus
that's
They're dead, right?
Yeah, they're dead
I
in
get
that
it.
one.
Yeah.
So I went over there, and like the whole week leading up to it. This is pre-pregnancy.
Did you know she was pregnant?
No.
Oh,
So
yeah.
she wasn't. So I had just gone to the Comedy Cellar in Vegas with DeStefano, Colin Quinn, Mike Vecchione. I think Judah might have been there. Right before I get home from Vegas, and I have like 2 days between Vegas and Jordan. The country, Jordan. And during that whole time, I'm stealing valor. I'm walking around with my chest puffed up, talking about what a hero I am. Unbelievable. You've never met somebody as courageous and heroic as I am. And in a move that I've never done, like I was always a pull well before the buzzer. Like midway through the fourth, my starters are off the floor. I have my I'm emptying my bench.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this one, I was stealing valor, saying I was going, to a war zone, and I literally like tapped her on the butt, said I'm deploying, and just let one rip inside of her.
And that was a baby.
And that was a baby. Dude, I came home.
Your first child.
Your
very first son.
My first try, I death starred it.
I'm deploying.
I'm deploying. And then I got home. Nicole wasn't there. I hadn't smoked in 2 weeks. So, of course, I'm an addict. And I'm just like, I'm going to fucking smoke a blunt. I can't wait. I'm in my apartment in Brooklyn.
Did you get to it?
I smoked the biggest blunt in America. And then she gets home, kisses me on the cheek, goes, I feel weird. I'm going to take a pregnancy test. First time we've ever in our history as a couple have taken, like, her period has come so on time that it's like laughed at my balls' inability to reproduce. Like, I thought I was spitting blanks because of weed or whatever. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, cause she instantly put that in my head. She pisses on the thing, jumps in the shower. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm literally sitting on the couch, just like, what the fuck? After 8 minutes, she goes, okay, can you, like, I think you should check.
You had to go check it.
She goes, can you check it? And I walked in, and I've never looked at a pregnancy test before. Like, I've never had a scare. Dude,
it says math.
But the plus was so prominent, it looked like somebody carved it into the machine. Like, it was so like, you are fucking pregnant.
Wow.
And I go, wow. Like, I was like, oh, like, whoa, we're pregnant. And she goes, what? Like, from the other side of the curtain. And I'm just like, what? Like, what is happening? I go, we're pregnant. Yeah, I was like, we're pregnant. And she goes, huh? And I like went like this, like pulled the curtain, and in like classic Italian woman, she just braced herself for impact.
It's in her DNA.
Yeah. And I'm just like, we're gonna have a baby. And she's like, huh? And I'm like, is my face fucking weird? Like, I literally looked in the mirror, like, what is my face doing? And I'm like, I was like, we're having a baby. And she's like, you're not like mad or sad or worried? And I was like, what? Like, this is great. We're married. Like, and she's like, oh, okay, good. Cause I took like 4 pregnancy tests like a couple days ago, and they were all positive.
Oh my God.
So she knew and was just holding on
She
to
was
that
scared.
while I was in Jordan, Kuwait, and Bahrain, sending her videos of me being attacked by a fucking marine dog.
Nice.
Like in the
suit?
In the suit, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the suit that like truly is not set up to protect anything.
Yeah.
It was a windbreaker, and you know, all this shit. She's like, am I gonna be a fucking single mother with this embryo inside of me and this dipshit telling yuckamups in fucking Kuwait?
It was. That's a way better story because you actually had the valor and it was worthy, and mine was that I still stand behind the project, but it was like I'll get attention type of thing, and this will be the thing that makes people start like paying attention to my things, and
That's why we do everything, though.
yeah,
That's why I got bit by that dog. I looked down the line of women. It was Robin Shaw, Kyle Ocasio, two petite, small women, and Gary Veeder, another petite, small woman.
Yeah.
And I was the only of adult size that could do it for the bit.
I mean, it's so. You just want to do it and have the people go, will you do the famous thing?
Yeah. Will you accept our hundreds of thousands of dollars?
That's
if
what
not
you want
millions?
to do. You want to be yourself in such a pure and authentic way that people are like, I relate so much to this, and you fill me with such a pleasant feeling that I'm going to subscribe to you and buy everything you make.
I think that's what this show is inevitably going to be, is we're going to turn the culture to bring comedy back to where people watch it and feel better about their life because they aren't us.
Oh,
That's what comedy, like
idea.
comedy became influencer in the sense that like
Yeah,
it became
everybody
a career
wants
you wanted.
to be that thing.
Yeah, you're like, look at that, private jets,
we
getting
got to
your
make
balls
it. Yeah,
sucked.
we got to make it more.
We're bringing it back to like, look at this clown
sexless marriage.
dragging a suitcase through the snow to perform for 9 people.
Turns out like you get to the gig and they're like, you're staying with me.
That happened to me recently.
Oh man,
Columbus.
One of the worst things that can ever happen. Well, I think we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah, we'll do dates and stuff at the top. But guys, this is only episode 2. And who knows, the lost episodes may become some sort of an amalgamation full ep at some point. We just don't feel comfortable enough dumping that on your lap just yet. But once we really all get to know each other, ourselves included.
Yeah, I did talk a lot of shit about a very tiny man.
Yes. And I, a tall one. See you next week.
Bye.